Japan in the late 1500s was a land consumed by endless war. Across the country, rival warlords fought for power, while castles burned and entire villages disappeared beneath the smoke of battle. Samurai armies marched constantly through the countryside, and survival depended on strength, loyalty, and fear. During this violent age, known as the Sengoku period, one powerful leader began rising above the chaos. His name was Oda Nobunaga, a ruthless daimyo determined to unite Japan by force. But while Nobunaga conquered enemies across the world, a mysterious figure from another world was slowly approaching Japan's shores. Foreign trade ships from Portugal had begun arriving in East Asia, carrying merchants, missionaries, weapons, and explorers. Among them traveled a tall African warrior whose true origins remain uncertain even today. Some believe he came from East Africa. Others think he may have served Jesuit missionaries as a bodyguard during long voyages across India and China before finally reaching Japan. When he arrived in Kyoto around 1579, his appearance shocked the population. Many Japanese people had never seen a black man before. Crowds gathered around him in disbelief, following him through the streets, staring at his height, strength, and dark skin. Rumors spread rapidly across the capital until they eventually reached Oda Nobunaga himself.
Curious about the foreign warrior, Nobunaga ordered him brought to his palace. According to historical writings, the warlord initially believed the man's skin had been painted with ink and ordered attendants to wash him. But the color remained, and Nobunaga became fascinated by the stranger standing before him. The African warrior quickly impressed the samurai with his physical strength and calm discipline. Nobunaga saw something unusual in him and allowed him to remain within his service. Over time, the foreigner adapted to Japanese life, studying the language, customs, and military traditions of the samurai. He learned swordsmanship, horseback riding, and the strict discipline expected inside Nobunaga's court. Eventually, the warlord granted him a Japanese name, Yasuke. Historical records suggest that Yasuke was treated as a respected retainer and may have received the privileges of a samurai, something almost unimaginable for a foreign-born African man living in feudal Japan. As Nobunaga's campaigns expanded across the country, Yasuke followed him through battlefields filled with smoke. Stories about the towering black samurai spread through villages and military camps alike. Some believed he possessed supernatural strength. Others viewed him as a symbol of Nobunaga's growing power and influence over a changing Japan.
The rise of Yasuke and Nobunaga would not last forever. In 1582, betrayal struck suddenly at Honnō-ji Temple in Kyoto. One of Nobunaga's own generals turned against him, surrounding the temple under the cover of darkness. Before dawn, enemy soldiers launched a violent attack. Flames consumed the wooden halls as arrows and gunfire tore through the buildings. Yasuke fought beside Nobunaga during the chaos, defending the warlord as the temple burned around them. Realizing defeat was unavoidable, Nobunaga chose death over capture, bringing an end to one of the most powerful figures in Japanese history. After the battle, Yasuke was captured by enemy forces, but what happened next remains uncertain. Historical records grow silent. Some accounts claim he was spared because he was considered a foreigner rather than a true samurai. Others suggest he returned to the Jesuit missionaries. And some theories believe he disappeared somewhere inside Japan, his final fate lost forever to history. No grave has ever been confirmed. No final battle was ever recorded. Yasuke simply vanished.
Yet centuries later, his legend returned. Historians, artists, filmmakers, and writers began rediscovering the forgotten story of the African warrior who stood beside Japan's greatest samurai. Today, Yasuke exists somewhere between history and myth, a symbol of survival, identity, and cultural collision.
details about his life remain unknown, the image of the Black Samurai continues to capture imaginations around the world. Across the centuries, through war, battle, and history, the legend of Yasuke endures.